So it's so funny how these books came to be, because it wasn't a passion project of mine or anything I pitched. Storey Publishing came to me and said, we'd like you to do sort of a visual dictionary type book about farms. I guess they had asked me because they had seen a chart or a graphic, a few of them that I had done for Design Sponge. I used to do regular illustrations for Grace Bonney's site, and one of them was about building a cabin, so I had shown how it was made. And so the art director had seen that and said, what if we made a whole book of this? I was like, what? I grew up in New York City. I've lived in New York City my entire life. I have zero experience with farms. And she said, we can pay you this much. I said, okay. So here I am, this city girl who knows nothing about farms, and I have to write and illustrate a 224-page book about it. So the first thing that happened was that I got sent a big box of books. The second thing that happened is that at the time I was married to someone who had grown up on a farm. So there was a connection, there was something I could hold on to, some meaning I could find from working on this project, is that I could get to know my husband's past. And this is my ex-husband, this is not Ollie. And so I made it sort of inspired by their family farm. And he told me a lot about what it was like growing up there. The beginning of the book has a map of the family farm in there. Then I also had that box of books, and I started learning and looking through them, and I knew nothing. I still feel like I don't know a lot. I didn't have no experience. I've done some of the stuff now. Since time has passed, I've done a lot of the stuff in the book. I have chopped wood, I have baled hay, I've grown a bunch of vegetables. I've done a lot of this stuff now, but at the time I hadn't really experienced any of it. So that's how the books came to be. And a lot of it was looking at charts other people had already done and being inspired by vintage charts and being really inspired by scientific charts, and then kind of thinking of it visually and putting it all together. And the writing, oh man, the writing was hard. I am not a writer, and to sum up something really briefly in a simple way that's understandable, trying to succinctly, in one paragraph, tell somebody what planting an orchard is like is very difficult to me. I guess I think there's probably something good about the fact that I didn't know anything about this, because I had a perspective of somebody who's just discovering something and has a lot of curiosity for something and is just learning about it. I think if somebody's an expert on something, they think, oh, putting in comb styles of a chicken seems so ordinary because everybody knows that, or of course growing tomatoes, geez, like that's 101. But for me, every single thing was new and exciting, so everything went in, and probably made it a better book than if an expert did it. Like if I was to do a book about what tools an illustrator needs versus somebody who's never illustrated anything, probably their book would be more interesting and exciting because they'd be discovering it all for the first time. So at the time when I was working on this book, I was a vegetarian. So it was hard to put all this meat stuff in. Like there's cuts of all the different animals when you cut them up, and there's how to cut up a chicken, and there's that's what a farm is. And I guess there was the option to have it not be about farms that produce food and meat food. But I felt like that wouldn't be fair to showing what a farm could be. I needed it to be about something fully and completely, and not just leaving out things I didn't like for the sake of my what I believe in and my morals. So there's a lot of meat stuff in there that is kind of hard to look at. When I was promoting the book, there was a blogger at the time. You promoted books by getting them on blogs. And there was a blogger I sent it to who I was friendly with, and she said, I feel it's very distasteful that you put in all these cuts of meat in here. And so I had to explain to her, look, I'm a vegetarian too. I totally understand why you feel that way, but this is a story of how all this is and what it is, and I can't leave things out. Like this is an exploration of a thing. How can you decide not to show it? I think that this book is about the small family farm. It's not about the evil giant farms that don't let their animals run free or have good lives, or are in cages or whatnot. So I think there's something to that. It's funny because I look at these drawings and some of them are not, or to my standards. They are not to my standards. The lines are too thick, and it just doesn't look right blown up that big with thick lines like that. So it's funny to look through the older books. More so Farm Anatomy than Nature Anatomy, because I think as time went on, I got more and more detailed as we go, and probably the newest book I have is the most detailed. But some of these older drawings are not great. They do the job, but could be a little cleaner, a little more detailed. But what's interesting is when I look back at this first book of this series, the layouts are so much better than the later books, because I think I was trying really hard in the beginning to think of different ways to show information. And so there's all these different kinds of charts and different kinds of layouts, and there's a page where I have a book opened, and for recipes there's recipe cards falling out, and for any of the term pages there's dictionary opened and it looks like it's definitions, and all the recipe pages have these borders, and everything's kind of more decorative. And I feel like as the books went on, I kind of got lazier about thinking of new layouts and focused more on the drawings. And so maybe I should bring back some of those unique layouts and try to think like that better for future books. It makes a book more interesting when every single page is different and they're not all just repetitive. It was funny what to choose at the end of the book, because I wanted to put some sort of country feeling activities in the back, and I just picked stuff I liked. I don't know. I wanted to put some quilting patterns in because I love the way patterns look, and I wanted to put things like make a husk doll or press flowers, because those are things... Ooh, lightning. Those are things that I wish I would have done, but I actually never even did them. It's crazy how one project that starts just by somebody randomly emailing you who you think won't be anything. Like, I just thought, okay, I'll just do this fun book, and it'll be about farms, and it'll be so funny to do because I know nothing about it and I'll learn so much. I did not think this was going to become a whole series. I did not think it was going to be something I was known for. And it just kept growing, and I think everything is an opportunity to try and follow your curiosity, and who knows where a project will go. So I guess if you're beginning in your career and somebody says, can you do this, or would you do this, and you're hesitant because you don't know enough about it, this is just an opportunity to learn, and you should say yes.